right, in your Tuesday folder for task 2, you'll see the fight for what's right. You'll put this drama into the study section of Notability. Study. Good. And we're gonna read the drama. Unfortunately, I can't assign you guys parts since I'm not there, so we can't read it like we did the necklace. So I'll just read the parts to you. And then afterwards, you'll do task 3, which is the discussion over the play. Okay, so this is called The Fight for What's Right. For some, California in the 1940s was a dream. Palm trees, beaches, glamorous movie stars. But for others, it was a place of great injustice. Sylvia Mendez, on the right here, and her family helped to change that. So this is based off of a true story. As we are reading, I want you to think of parallels between this drama and the article we read yesterday, because you will be completing a Venn diagram tomorrow for your assignment. So the characters we have stage directors. So if you see SD 1, 2, those are stage directors. We have storytellers 1, 2, and 3, and that is like our narrator. We have Sylvia Mendez, which is the main character. She's 8 years old in the story. Alice and Virginia are Sylvia's cousins. Jerome is Sylvia's little brother. Aunt Sally is Sylvia's aunt. Then there's a secretary. We have Mama and Papa, Sylvia's mother and father. We have Miss Wilson, Sylvia's teacher. We have Miguel, a classmate, Mr. Marcus, a lawyer, Mr. Harris, the superintendent, a judge, and Mrs. Hughes, an education expert. As you read, you'll be asking yourself, what does it take to change society? Prologue. 3 storytellers stand in front of the curtain. As they start to speak, the Mendez family crosses the stage carrying suitcases. The year is 1944. Sylvia Mendez and her family have just moved to Westminster, California from a nearby city. So I'm just going to write setting here. Sylvia's father was born in Mexico. Her mother was born in Puerto Rico. They are both American citizens. Sylvia and her family are excited about their new life in Westminster, but they are about to experience terrible injustice. Oops, let me highlight that. This is foreshadowing, because it's kind of hinting at what's going to happen. The family will take a stand, and they will change the course of history. Scene 1, the office at Westminster School. The curtain rises on a school office. A secretary sits behind a desk. Sylvia and Jerome enter with their Aunt Sally and their cousins Alice and Virginia. Our new school is so big and beautiful. Did you see the palm trees and the grassy fields and the playground? Aunt Sally approaches the secretary. Good morning. I'd like to register these children for school. Names: Sylvia and Jerome Mendez, Alice and Virginia Vidari. The secretary looks at Alice and Virginia, who have fair skin and light brown hair. And then it continues here. Those two may enroll here, but not the Mendez children. Excuse me? The secretary points at Sylvia and Jerome, who have dark skin and dark hair. They have to go to Hoover, the Mexican school. So this is an important aha. But they are American. Shrugging, that's the rule. Either all of them will go to school here or none of them will. Aunt Sally storms off with the children. Why can't we go here, Tia? Don't worry, Sylvia. It must be a mistake. Scene 2, the Mendez family kitchen. In a small kitchen, Sylvia's mother chops carrots and celery. Aunt Sally stirs soup in a large pot. I don't understand why my kids can't go to school at Westminster. I am sure it'll get sorted out. What if it's not a mistake, Sally? All over this area, Mexican Americans are segregated at restaurants, parks, swimming pools, and movie theaters. So this tells us what the situation is like during this time for Mexican Americans. So that's an aha. Papa walks in fuming. What did they say? The principal and the superintendent said that Sylvia and Jerome have to go to Hoover. Why? They just kept saying, that's the way it's done here. But Hoover is farther away. Plus, it's very run down and right next to a smelly cow pasture. This is not acceptable. What can we do about it? I'm not sure, but a good education for our children is worth fighting for. Scene 3. The entrance to Westminster School. A group of kids walks on stage to the front of a modern-looking building, Westminster School. The sound of buses pulling away can be heard in the background. The white kids enter the school. A group of Mexican-American kids, including Sylvia, Jerome, Alice, and Virginia, linger behind. They watch as the last of the white children disappear into the building, then they turn away and begin to walk slowly across the stage. Why can't the bus take us all the way to Hoover? I guess we're not worth the trouble. Yeah, but that's why they put us in that shack they call a school. It's not fair. It isn't fair at all. So this is them reflecting on the fact that their situations are not fair. So that's another aha for the kids because the bus doesn't even take them to their school. Scene 4, a classroom at Hoover School. The lights come up on a cramped, dimly lit classroom. Sylvia and the others sit at wobbly desks. Today, the girls are going to learn how to sew, and the boys will build crates. Miss Wilson passes out scraps of fabric to the girls and pieces of wood to the boys. It continues over here. Sylvia raises her hand. Miss Wilson, are we ever going to read books or learn math? You don't need to. I am teaching you something more useful. Now, what could that mean for them? That it's not going to be useful for them to learn anything educational because of their race. Sylvia's brow furrows as the lights fade. A moment later, the lights come up on the opposite side of the stage where students are scattered across a bare yard eating their lunches. There are no tables or benches. The students stand or sit on the ground. Behind them, an electrified fence separates the schoolyard from a cow pasture. Sylvia sits in the dirt with Jerome, eating an apple. The smell of those cows is really getting to me. Sylvia swats away flies. Another student walks up. Your father is going to get everyone in trouble. What do you mean? He has started a petition saying we should go to the white school. He wants my parents to sign it. Okay, so this is an important aha as well. So everyone knows Westminster is a better school than Hoover. If my papa signs it, he could lose his job. Well, my papa says it's not fair for us to make us go to a separate school. You think you're better than everyone else here? No. Sylvia stands up and dusts off her skirt. I just want to learn what kids at Westminster learn. Is that okay? Scene 5, Mr. Marcus's office. The lights come up in a small office. A man in a suit sits behind a large desk strewn with books and papers. He stands as Sylvia's father, Mr. Mendez, walks through the door. Thank you for seeing me, Mr. Marcus. Of course, motions for Mr. Mendez to sit. Why don't you tell me what's going on? My children aren't allowed to attend our local school. They're forced to go to a separate school for Mexican kids that is farther away and not as good. That is discrimination. We can file a lawsuit, but we should get other families involved. Why? Our case will be stronger if we can prove that is a widespread problem. I've talked to people all over town. No one wants to make trouble. Then you've got to find families in other cities. Try Garden Grove, Santa Ana, El Modena. That's going to take a lot of time. Mr. Mendez, there are 5,000 children of Mexican descent in Orange County. Let's not do this just for your children. You're right. Let's do it for all the children. Okay, so that's important. The men shake hands. Scene 6. The Mendez family's farm. The lights come up on a field of bright green asparagus. Mama, Sylvia, and Jerome are stooped over, packing asparagus stalks into wooden crates. Thank you for getting up early and helping me with the crops again. Jerome yawns and rubs his eyes. When will Papa be back? Soon. He's found 3 other families to join the lawsuit so far, but he wants to find at least one more. If we win, will we go to that big, beautiful school? That's right. What if the kids at Westminster don't like us? Sometimes they call us names in the park. One boy shouted, "Go back to Mexico." If they don't like you, it's because they don't know you. That's what prejudice is. When you decide you don't like a certain group for no good reason. That is very important. Aha. We find out what prejudice is. I don't like eating asparagus. Is that prejudice? Mama ruffles his hair. No, Papito. Prejudice is about something like people's skin color or religion. Now finish up. It's almost time for school. Scene 7. The lights come up on a crowded courtroom. Papa sits at the table near the front of the court. Sylvia and Jerome, dressed in their finest clothes, sit in the gallery with Mama. Mr. Marcus questions the superintendent of the Westminster School District. Mr. Harris, is it true that children of Mexican descent must attend Hoover School? No, students who need extra help or don't speak English go to Hoover. Do you give the students a test to see if they know English? Yes, the principal speaks to them. That's not true. The principal never talked to us. Are there other reasons you send Mexicans to a different school? They need to learn manners. People in the courtroom shake their heads, appalled. Appalled means horrified. Like shocked. I have better manners than he does. So if a Mexican child speaks English and has good manners, could he or she attend Westminster? Yes. How many Mexican students are attending Westminster now? None. Out of the hundreds of children at Hoover, not one is qualified to go to Westminster? Well, they can't keep up. They're not as smart. Horrified gasps spread across the courtroom. Order! Order in the court! Mr. Marcus wears a triumphant expression. No further questions, Your Honor. You may step down, Mr. Harris. Your Honor, I now call Mrs. Marie Hughes to the witness stand. Mrs. Hughes walks to the front of the courtroom. Mrs. Hughes, you are an education expert, is that correct? Yes, that is correct. In your professional opinion, is it true that the Mexican children cannot keep up as Mr. Harris claims? No, of course not. Where you're from, the color of your skin, these have absolutely nothing to do with academic aptitude. In my opinion, these claims are an attempt to justify the racist practice of segregation. So this is important. Academic aptitude is like how well you do at school. So what the education expert is saying is that your skin color or where you're from have nothing to do with how well you can do at school. And these claims are just an attempt to justify keeping the two races apart. So it's trying to justify the racist practice of segregation. And in your professional opinion, is it helpful for Mexican children to be schooled separately? No, keeping them separate sends the message that they are somehow inferior, and it tells them that they are not wanted. Does attending a separate school help improve their English skills? No. The best way to learn a new language is to be surrounded by other people who speak it. Do you believe that the white and Mexican children should go to school together? Yes, but not just so the Mexican children will have equal access to a good education. What do you mean? Putting all the children together would benefit everyone, all of us. For children to understand and respect each other, they need to spend time together, learning and playing and sharing. That's the first step toward ending prejudice. This is important because it's not just for the Mexican kids' benefit, it's for everyone's benefit, for everyone to learn how to get over their prejudices. Sylvia squeezes Mama's hand and smiles. Scene 8. The Mendez family's living room. Sylvia walks into the room to find her parents sitting on the couch. She sees that they have tears in their eyes. What happened? We won the lawsuit. The judge ruled that all children should be treated equally and that segregation of schools is unconstitutional. That means it goes against the Constitution. Sylvia throws her arms around her parents. I will study hard and make you proud. Papa looks at Sylvia and puts his hands on her shoulders. Just remember, my sweet Sylvia, it may not be easy at Westminster. Some of the kids there may be unkind. You've got to be brave, and you've got to remember that you have a right to be there, same as anybody else. The curtain falls. Epilogue. The lights rise on the three storytellers in front of the closed curtain. The Mendez versus Westminster trial was one of the first times in the U.S. that a judge ruled it was unfair to segregate children at school. It paved the way for children all over the country, but school integration wasn't a smooth process. Many people opposed the new laws. For Sylvia, life at Westminster School was difficult at first. She was teased and taunted, but she held her head high, remembering what her parents had fought for. Sylvia went on to college and became a nurse. Today, she travels around the country telling her family story and working to ensure that all children have equal opportunity to learn. And that is the end of the play. Okay, so in Schoology, task 3, you have your discussion. Answer the following questions in the discussion board using text evidence. So that's important. You have to use evidence from the play to support your answer. The discussion questions are, why was winning the lawsuit important for the Mendez family? Why was it important for all the children of California? So why was it important to the Mendez family? Answer the question and then find a part in the play that supports your answer. Why was it important to Sylvia and Jerome and the parents? It does not have to be a direct quote. You can just summarize what happened. And then the second question, why was it important for all the children of California? Take a look at this epilogue for that, how it affects like all of the children. Also, scene 8, so think about the result of the trial and how it affected all of the children. There are some sentence stems here to help you, so you can start off by saying, winning the lawsuit was important for the Mendez family because ... And for the second question, it is important for all of the children of California because. And I should see your discussion post in here when you are complete. All right, guys.